Hello. So this is the supplemental video for chapter 23, talking about different sort of specialized tissues or plant organs. I wanted to make this video real quickly just to show you what we're talking about, so that way you can get a really good image of this. So to help us talk about plants, I'm in my greenhouse, and this is what I do when I'm not at school. And I wanted to show you a few different things from some plants, vegetable plants that we've got growing here. So first off, we're talking about plants with seeds. Okay, these are either gymnosperms or angiosperms. Either way, it's not bryophytes. These are vascular plants that do make seeds. So a good example of that is you can take a tomato, you can open it up, and you can pull out the seeds and grow more tomatoes like this, or everything else in here, beans or radishes or whatever. So all of those plants, whatever kind they are, angiosperm, gymnosperm, they have these three principal organs. Like we have organs like heart or liver or lungs or whatever. They do a particular job for us. Our heart pumps blood, our lungs exchange gases. On plants, they have roots, stems, and leaves, and they all have their particular function. So first one is roots. So if we pull up a plant here is a corn plant, and we can see obviously the roots here, the stem, and the leaves. So the roots anchor the plant in the ground. This is actually kind of hard to pull up. It helps to transport nutrients and water up through the stem of the plant so your leaves can grow and do photosynthesis and everything else. Stems transport materials from the root up to the leaves. Some plants, you'd use that modified stem to store energy in. An onion is an example of a modified stem. Another example would be a radish, right? Actually a radish is a modified root, not a stem. I should have talked about potatoes as well. Potatoes are modified tubers, which are also roots. But this is not a stem, this is actually a modified root. One of the things I should mention is the roots are really different. One big root, multiple smaller roots. Okay? This is an example of a taproot. This is an example of a fibrous root, which is something else that'll come up. Single main stem, main root, lots of others. Okay, so those roots gather that material, pass it up the stem. Modified stems can store things. Celery would be an example of a stem you could eat. Leaves are there to, once again, absorb sunlight. That's where photosynthesis happens in the leaves. One of the interesting things you can tell about looking at leaves of plants is you can see that on this radish, we have like a net-like pattern of veins or vascular tissues, the plant plumbing. And on this corn, which is a grass, you can see that the veins are parallel and long. And that actually brings up a good point, that this corn or this grass is an example of a monocot. There is one seed leaf in the seed, and they always have parallel venation. And a dicot has two seed leaves, which you can actually still see on this. These two little leaves at the very bottom were the original two leaves that popped out of the seed. Those are called seed leaves, or dicots, dicotyledon. There's two of them, that's why it's called dicots. Right? That meant that in that seed, the little embryo, the little baby plant that was in the seed, it had two embryonic leaves that popped up. With the corn, however, it only pops up one single leaf, which was probably this leaf right here, and then everything else grew out from there. It continually added leaves. So these are monocots and dicots, and you can tell that at the leaves. Right? Leaves also help try to prevent water loss, although if they lose water like this guy has, they begin to wilt. Cacti, for example, are coated with like a waxy coating to help prevent water loss. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. And let's see what else is growing. Let's flip the camera. Okay, we've got poppies, spinach, beets. Beets. I don't think they're ready yet. Beets. See, the root hasn't begun to enlarge, but you have stems, leaves. Lettuce. Got peas. They're beginning to climb up here. Those are turnips. Those are leeks, which are a type of onion. It's a peach tree. These are herbs, sage and thyme and rosemary. These are baby sweet potatoes. This is called pak choy. Dill, cilantro, elderberries, kale, perennial onions, Swiss chard, more lettuce, collards, more lettuce, fennel, zucchinis. There are some plants I just transplanted that are not yet rooted in. And then we've got some little baby tomatoes growing through there. And here is some baby potatoes that are growing out of the ground.